I'm making my way through Race to the Edge. One of the newer dragons I've fallen in love with is the Death Song, which first appeared in Season 1. The natural enemy of the Death Song is the Thunderdrum, a tidal-class manta ray-looking dragon, which can get very large and live in the water as well as land. I've owned one of these dragons in Dragon's Rise of Berk. So in Race to the Edge, the Thunderdrum did not fall prey to the Death Song because apparently they can't hear or they're hard of hearing. The Thunderdrum is so loud that Hiccup and his friends automatically thought that it was deaf. They also decided this because it wasn't responding to them. However, we think this is not the case. If they were to go one-on-one, a Death Song would have a hard time killing a Thunderdrum. It doesn't mean that they've not killed them. We saw a baby Thunderdrum captured in amber, that yellow amber-like substance that the Death Song spits out near the end. We'll get into which dragon would fare better in a battle in another video. But this video answers two things: why the Death Song didn't go after the Thunderdrums, and the reason we believe the Thunderdrums can't hear the Death Song, the real reason. Now, if a Death Song did manage to go after a Thunderdrum and spit the amber at it, there's no reason to believe that the Thunderdrum would not be captured by the Death Song. We're pretty sure the amber would be as effective at catching a Thunderdrum as it is with the other dragons. The only reason why the Thunderdrums were not captured by the Death Song on average is because they weren't lured to its lair. If the Death Song had traveled outward to hunt down the Thunderdrums, they would have been just as easily hunted as other dragons. Again, remember, we saw a young Thunderdrum also captured in the amber cocoon. Now, despite what is said in the How to Train Your Dragon spin-off series, we think that the Thunderdrums have no problem hearing and probably have some means of protection from their very loud calls. We especially believe this because animals that are at home in the water as much as on land need to hear very well. There are two senses that work very well in the water, and it's hearing and smelling. So it's very unlikely that the Thunderdrum is deaf or very hard of hearing. If they're on land, this makes it so much harder for them because anything could sneak up on the Thunderdrum to kill it. Let's say that these manta ray looking dragons have a means of bypassing the ability to hear by sensory organs somewhere on their face or body while they're in the water. Those same devices would not work on land. Okay, so if they can hear, which is what we're suggesting, how would we explain them not being affected by the song of the Death Song dragon? Well, the best way to explain this theory is to give you an example. It is possible that most dragons possess a brain that interprets sound differently than that of the Thunderdrum. They may have an extra sensitive hearing, the way that many humans are annoyed by the sound of someone smacking their lips, and others completely okay with it. Maybe there's a specific note played at a frequency that bothers most dragons, but that the Thunderdrum cannot hear, or it can and it doesn't bother it at all. This is the case with cats and dogs. Dogs can hear a lot better than humans and can detect certain frequencies up to 45,000 hertz, and the higher up it goes, the more painful it is to the dog. Sounds of up to 25,000 hertz or more become irritating for dogs. Now, in the case of a Thunderdrum, it's possible that because this animal also lives underwater, that it has a wider range of frequencies that it can hear. A bottlenose dolphin can hear up to 150,000 hertz. That means a sound or frequency that would be painful for a dog would not be painful for the dolphin because the dolphin has a wider range of frequencies that it can hear, which include much higher ones than what a dog can hear. It has a higher tolerability. If dolphins are already used to hearing extremely high frequencies, the noises that are played at high frequencies will not bother the dolphin. Now back to How to Train Your Dragon. Most of the dragons that were affected by the Death Song dragon's tune were not aquatic dragons. As far as we could tell, the only dragon that made its home in the water is a Thunderdrum. And marine animals, this means ones that predominantly live in the water, so the Thunderdrum can count as this as well, usually have the ability to hear very high frequencies on a regular basis because that's how they navigate and communicate. Eyesight is usually very poor for marine animals because sunlight doesn't do a good job of penetrating the deep water. So many animals in the water rely on echolocation. They have to be able to either smell really well or hear extremely well. What is ironic is that the Thunderdrum was not affected by the Death Song's tune because it could hear so well. Whatever note was in the Death Song dragon's music that caused the other dragons to go into a trance does not affect the Thunderdrum because the Thunderdrum is better able to withstand that specific noise or frequency in the music. If you blow a very high-pitched whistle, it may hurt a dog's ears and cause it to run away. but the threshold that causes the dog pain at that frequency would just sound like a lower noise to an animal like a thunderdrum, bat, or a dolphin. So, weirdly enough, the message at that high frequency note within the Death Song Dragon's tune might have been telling Meatlug and the other dragons to come here. Meanwhile, the Thunderdrum might have heard something like, oh my god, why is this here? That's a very, very severely simplified example, but that's our theory. The Thunderdrum is not deaf and it can probably hear very, very well. It's just that the frequencies that bother the other dragons and cause them to head towards the annoying sound failed to do so for the Thunderdrum because, well, it didn't bother the Thunderdrum. So that's it, guys. Hope you liked this video. We welcome all your comments and feedback, and thanks for watching. This has been Altiori. You ask, we answer.